I think I played about 3-4 games. They knocked my leg behind my head and came on back home. Okay? But I want to say, man, man, Coach Criss is he's a special kind of person, man. You know, they don't make him like that no more. I promise you. I wish he was coaching now to help some of these young men out how to get along with people, how to love people, how to understand how life is. Give you opportunity to deal with police, you know, things like that. Because these kids don't understand that now. They don't have no integrity. He raised his kids with integrity. My brother is the head coach at Dunbar right now, and we having a problem with the Criss boys. Okay, and I make it mad. You can't whoop them Criss boys. They be whooping them too. He got Zach last year in the playoffs. He come back, big brother got him this year. That's Sam Hurst, and I make him mad. Man, you can't whoop them Criss boys. But it come all from that pedigree of that man right there and his mother. And I learned about pedigree when I was playing with the 49ers, because all them white boys used to talk about pedigree, bloodline. And I like to say, man, it's an honor to be here right today talking about Coach Criss. I love you, man. I love your family. And I hope your grandkids and your kids and your great-grandkids can spend some time with you. I don't care. They last of the Mohicans now. Okay? You need to spend some time with them to learn some things. Learn how to live. Learn how to take care of your family. You know, learn how to get along with people. Learn what you need to do to be a good man. Not just a good black man, but a good man. And that's what he is, a good man. That's about one man I know can get along right for. I don't understand. I couldn't understand. I grew up in the 60s. My dad never scared of white people. He get along with him, just grin, cuss him out, like, yeah. Let me tell you about this little story. He was a brutally honest person. We playing in Hammond Field. I don't know if y'all know anything about Hammond Field, but it's a small state. You can hear everything. This man came to ask Coach Criss. I don't know if you remember. Why my son ain't playing? We sit up there. We look at Coach Criss. He didn't say nothing. He just pouring that tobacco. That man said, why my son ain't playing? So we head to the buses, locker room. We standing up there talking. He asked Coach Criss one time, 2 minutes. Why my son ain't playing? Coach Criss spit that tobacco out to him. Because he's a sorry. And boy, we laughed so hard, man. And he's just a good guy. And it's not any words that can describe him. You have to experience it. And I want to say congratulations, Coach Criss. As they say, job well done, man. You too, Miss Criss, because you part of it too. You know, you part of it too. And raise these boys the way, and I hope the grandkids get something from it. I hope the great-grandkids get something from it. And thank God for y'all family. Thank you.
All right, that's the Wildcat side, okay? Let's go to ODY. We're gonna have both of these brothers come up here at the same time. Okay? Oh, you want to go by yourself? You go first. It's up to you. The quarterback, or you want to go right here? You still look like you can play, man. So tell everybody your name and tell us about Coach Criss.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Marvin Morgan. I'm from. I was part of the ODY class in 1992. Yes, sir. The Mighty class in 1992. Played for Coach Criss for those 4 years from 88 to 92. Just a little bit about myself. After college, I graduated, got a scholarship, went to Angelo State, played ball for 1 year, then I joined the Armed Forces. And actually, I just recently retired 1 May, 24 years. So yesterday I actually stayed in Killeen, so I was at my little part-time job. And I got a text message, and it said something about Coach Criss Lifetime Award, and I was like, who is this? You know, because I didn't recognize the number, and then Anthony came up and said it was him. And when I like to speak on his behalf, and it was like a really no-brainer for me to make the drive down there. You know, there's a lot of words to describe Coach Criss as far as what hasn't been said. You know, he's here today for a reason, receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. For many people like myself, my best friend right here who was quarterback and receiver during that time, we were team captains. Coach Criss stood in the gap when he didn't have to, as far as, you know, us not having father figures in the home. He stood in that gap and stayed on, not just us, but many, hundreds of other kids, steering us in the right direction. I am a living example of some of the Willie B Criss principles in my adulthood. One word really that I wanted to talk about today that I think describes Coach Criss for me is transcendent. Transcendent. Transcendent means once in a lifetime. Don't come around too often. Generational. And that's who he has been. Meaning there ain't too many Willie B Crisses out there that has done what he's done and or is doing what he's doing. And I'm living proof of that because, again, I wouldn't have been and done what I've done without some of those principles that he instilled in us. Not just the work ethic and everything, but just some of the home training principles as well. And one thing that I tried to emulate in my household today that I kind of copied from Coach Criss is I went to his house one day. I was home on leave for a couple of years back, maybe 5 years ago. And I noticed in his house, he got this picture of him, the wife, and then it's kind of like a chain of command picture. All the kids and all the grandkids and their kids and everything. And it's just the Criss family. It's like a legacy type thing, or I call it like a wall of fame. You know, and it just shows all of it. And so in my house today, we call it the Northern Wall of Fame, where we got mom and daddy, and then all my kids kind of in sequential order, you know, whatever, and we just gonna keep on building on that. And it just goes to show, you know, as a man, a family man. And that's what I kind of strove to be. You know, we already know about his culture prowess, but I want to just touch on the man prowess as a man, what he has shown us how to be. And he's worthy of emulation, you know, just by the Criss name. And I was just asking him, telling him a while ago about he's leaving a legacy. You know what I'm saying? You are only as good as your word and your name after you leave this earth. And he's always been a man of his word and also leaving a strong legacy between his kids and the grandkids and so on and so forth. So it's been an honor to have played for Coach Criss and to know Coach Criss and the Criss family and everything. And you know, he lives through not just myself but all the other former players and pretty much everybody that has come in contact with him. And so please, if you can, let's just give another round of applause for my coach, your coach, the city's coach, Willie B Criss. Thank you, Coach. We love you.
Marvin said it all. Coach, you know we love you. These big guys up here, and big guys normally play football and they get out there and get in the trenches, but when us little guys play, it's kind of a different thing. And I was one of the littlest guys on the field, and Coach Criss snatched the fear out of me. I could run real fast and I could catch real good, so they put me at receiver. Then he realized, well, he run too fast and we can't got nobody to throw him the ball. So then he moved me to quarterback. So I'm back behind the center and all of the linemen all taller than me, and I'm back there and I can't throw because I'm not a quarterback. I say, now what I'm supposed to do now, coach? Run the ball. I say, with all them big dudes, hell, don't let them talk it. and that's what we did for a full season. We finally found us another quarterback that could throw the ball. So some downs I would line up at receiver and drop back and go gun the ball. We in the huddle, coach. They can hear it. Just outrun them. Then he moved at quarterback, whole defense on the other team. He running a bootleg, he running a bootleg. I look over there, don't let him tackle it. So after that, I pretty much went into adulthood with basically no fear. And I took that on my journey with me. And a lot of y'all know I've been fighting and battling cancer for the last 6 years. And those words I take with me. Cancer been chasing me, been running behind me. I just don't let it tackle me.
Thanks, John. I like that. All right, you get to come on, tell your name and what you want to say about Coach. Come on.
By the way, Zach dragged me up here with the family. I am part of the family, I guess so. My name is Daryl Terrell, and I want to, I'm not a public speaker, so please, if my germs run and my participles dangle, I warned you beforehand. There are so many stories I can tell you about Coach Criss, but I'm not going to say them all because some things are just left for the locker room. But I, like yourself, was a quarterback as well. And I remember on JV, Coach Criss would come to the game, and I was in the game playing. I was kind of screwing up, and Coach Criss got in my face. And when I tell you it was raining tobacco, he was all in my face mask. Next thing you know, we went out and scored about 24 points in one half, and it was all due to fear. Coach Criss. That's all I have to say. Love you, brother. Love you.
All right, all right. Any other players before we hear from the Suns? Any other players that showed up? They just got here or so? All right, do we have any else? I just want to make sure. Okay, we're going to hear from the head coach of O.D. White High School, who's doing a great job. And, you know, he doesn't know this, but my son Fred played for him. He says, Charles, we're going to get Charles up here. That's good, that's good. I'm glad he made it. Charles, come on, man. We're waiting on you, man. Hit the hill! Why there's the print, what is it, the pen over there? What is it called? Coach Zach know what I'm talking about. When you're late, you got to run up that hill. Yeah. So, what happened when y'all late, when y'all missed practice? What happened, man?
You don't want to know, bro. You don't want to know. That was a 2x4 close at hand. That's all I got to say.
I don't want to. Hey, come on up here, Charles, man. Tell us your connection and where you went to school at with Coach Criss.
All right. Played for Coach Criss at O.D. White. I was class of '96. Any O.D. White folk in the house? Oh, just a few. But I played for Coach Criss, and it was a awesome experience. And I can do a lot of talking about the caliber of coach he was. But one of the things that has always stood out to me was the type of man he was. And there's a story that I like to tell my children, and I hold this story very dear to my heart because this particular day I saw that Coach Criss was a whole lot more than just a football coach. During our time at O.D. White, there was a huge influx, and a lot of the population of Crips and Blood increased. And one day we were at practice, and while we were there, Coach Criss noticed some Crips walking up to our practice field. And we're all athletes. We can hold our own, and we were ready for whatever. But we looked out in front of us, and our leader stood out in front of us. And he let them know that nothing was getting ready to go down. They tried to disrespect Coach Criss. They tried to say little sly things, and Coach Criss said, I don't care if you're 4 Trey, I don't care if you're 5 Deuce, I don't care who you are. It's not going down here today. And that was one of the things that really stood out to me about Coach Criss, because I was informed that those young men had guns on them that day. But our leader stood right there in front of us, ready for whatever. And that played huge dividends in what we thought about him as a man, what we thought about him as a coach. And Coach Criss was, again, more than a coach to us. He was like a father to us. And that day, he let us know that nobody I don't care who you are, is going to mess with any of my children. I received a full scholarship because of this man's leadership, and I learned how to be a man under this man's leadership. And so I thank God for the experiences that I've had with Coach. He's a living legend in his own right. Every now and then you run across a legend, and we have an opportunity to run across one at O.D. White High School. God bless you. God keep you. Coach Criss, we love you much, and we thank God for you.
Thank you, Charles. And by the way, where'd you get the scholarship? Where'd you go? TCU. All right. That's what I'm talking about. This family has put out young people to go different places. Do I have any other player here I need to make sure before I hear from Coach Zach? All right. Double checking. Did I see anybody? Coach AC? All right. Well, they had a big birthday deal for him last year. Zach and Anthony did. And I watched them. And they did this for their dad. They did it out of surprise. But I said, it's up to us, the community. They did it from their heart as their father. Can you imagine your father still driving at 81 years of age and in his right mind? That's something to shout about. That's something to shout about when you're married to the same woman for all these years and have your family. If we line them up, we don't have that going on no more. You know? But I can tell you this, these brothers had to share these guys with their dad. And I'm pretty sure there's some guys that quit the team and wish they had stayed on board, but their pride killed them. So I'm going to hear from Coach Zach Criss, and then we'll follow by his brother, Coach Anthony Criss. And then we'll hear from Mama Criss.
First, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. It's always a good thing to show appreciation and support for somebody who's been important in the community and the lives of so many people. My biggest thing about it, everybody think of us as a football fan, but one thing I can definitely say, my father has always kept everything in order. And what I mean by that, he's always been God first, family second, education third, and football the last thing when I play. And in that, he's instilled in us that we have to praise God at all times. Everything comes from him. And we got to take, as Mark said, we have to take care of our families. That's a very important thing. And when your family's taken care of, make sure your family's educated, regardless of where they go to school. My father and mother have always taught us education comes from the home. You send your kids to school, but education comes from the home. I learned all my study habits from home. I learned how to take a test at home. I learned how to read at home. I learned math at home. And when I went to school, they enhanced what I had already learned at home. But that's the biggest thing I tell parents nowadays: educate your kids at home, and it makes the school job easier. But we've done this several times. You know, Dad, I love you. Mama, I love you. Thank you for being there for us, being the parents to us. And as you said, we did. We shared our father. He missed a lot of our games. And that when we got to be older, he said that was probably the only thing that he didn't. But I told Dad, don't worry about it, Dad, because I saw what you did in the lives. And even now, I'm seeing what he did in the lives of the men that he's helped grow up. And he might have missed our games, but he was making some other games. And now, because those games have been met, we got a slew of young men that Dad had touched their lives. And their family men. That's the biggest thing, the most important thing to me when a kid comes back. And they tell me, hey man, your dad. And I look, they got their kids with them. They at their kids' game. They talking about their kids and their wives. I love that about my father and my mother. They instill family. That's very important in our community today. That's all I have to say.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to be very, very brief. My mom and dad you all don't understand how hard this is for me and my brother to pull these things off. To get my dad and my mom to come out, and Dad really does not really care for this because he feels like he's not done anything more than what he was supposed to do. What people don't realize is that throughout the years, we start thinking about it, Daddy has coached young men. There's over 50 preachers that he has coached. So men who are pastors, Charles didn't say it, but he's a pastor. And then military guys like Marvel, retired military. Don didn't say it, but Don is he's a master speaker. He's a spoken word speaker. Had I gotten up here, I would have told him, because he can do it from the top of his head, I would say, Don, I need some spoken word. He would have done it. But that's the kind of influence that you have that being able to come from my father. Me and my brother, when we were in high school, we used to be upset because people would run around and call my daddy, Daddy. And me and Zach would say, that's not your daddy, that's my daddy. And then I didn't understand that because as time went on, then the name Daddy Criss became so relevant. And the reason we got to that, I was at the school, Zach was at the school, so the order to signify between the Coach Chris's, you had to go, I was Coach AC, Zach was Coach Zach, and then Daddy was, because people say, you want to talk to the daddy? They said, oh, so that's Daddy Criss. It caught on. And then it became Daddy Criss, everybody calls him Daddy forever. And so now, what me and Zach have started to realize and start to become, we become Daddy Chris's at our campuses. It's weird that I'm Daddy Criss at Sam Houston. Zach is Daddy Criss at ODY. We have all these children, all these grandbabies. And then my wife has started to understand. And I'm going to tell this last story and I'm going to be quiet. I'm trying to be brief, but I have to speak. I have to speak. And, you know, so I drove over from Dallas, so I'm going to get these few words. That last thing. The critical thing that my daddy has taught me and my brother is that family is first. Take care of your family. But also that the kids that you come in contact with, you have to make sure you pour into their lives. And by these young men coming back and all the young ladies that he's coached too, that's the thing that we've taken from my dad is that he was never selfish. He had his own kids, but I watched him give lunch money to those kids just like he gave lunch money to us. I watch him take them to football games. I watch him take them to college. I watch him help them go on their way with their tuition. All these things I didn't understand until I became grown. And then as we be able to affect the lives, so for my dad to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award and to be around to get it today, to actually see it and to be a part of it here in Fort Worth, Texas is a great thing. We love your mom, we love your daddy, and thank you guys for coming out and sharing with us.
Thanks, Coach AC. All right. Is Dominic, is that his other son in the green? Come on up here. Come on up here. We got his grandson up here too, okay? All right. We can't let that's the next generation of the Criss family. Now, in the article I wrote, none of the sons said they was going to coach. But all of a sudden, something happened. So I'm going to let him tell what happened, because I'm pretty sure, no, we ain't going to do this, because we know what it's taking like. But let's give it up to Coach Anthony Criss, who is over there. Offensive coordinator at ODY, is that correct? Receivers coach.
Hey, I'm Willie B Criss, son of Anthony, nephew of Zachary, and my grandfather's Willie Criss. Like you said before, all of us went off to school, we were told not to coach. Go to school, get a degree, do business, anything else but coach. And all of us went off, we got degrees and other things, business, and we came back. How they all got us, they told us. The whole thing was, hey, just come volunteer, help me out with the kids. So I'm like, I have no problem with that. It's spring break, I got nothing to do. I come volunteer, help the kids. So you out there working with the kids, and then at first you just help them volunteer, and the next 2 or 3 days you become coach. Then it's coach, can I get a ride home? Coach, I'm hungry. So then you like you said, you start pouring into the kids, you become attached. So you go, and you're like, okay, you know what? I can see myself doing this. I'm giving back to the community, I'm giving back to the kids. I can give them something that I didn't have. So he said, I'm there, putting them in positions, and trying to tell them what's going to happen, been there, done it. A lot of the times they don't want to listen, they don't believe family greasy until something happens to them. I really enjoy being able to coach and get back to the kids and get back to the field. And if I could do it all over again, I'd make the same choice.
Thank you, Dominic. You can have that seat right there, man. Don't go nowhere. Okay, I'm going to ask everyone to stand at this time, and let's show some love for a woman who's been faithfully married to the same man, cooked for him, even when she probably didn't feel like it. But whatever they did, we need more parents like this. Let's give it up for Mama Criss. If she come up and say something at this time, please come on here, Mom. Come on over here. Don't she look sharp?
I don't know why they call me here because they know what I'm going to say. I said, all down through the years, it seems like it's been 100 years, and I thought, after my kids got grown, I thought, oh boy, I can stop going to all these football games. Here come my grandchildren. Oh, I thought I was going to have to start going to the football game, but no matter what, you don't have to go to the game where you feel like it or not. That's right. And then my little great-granddaughter, which is his daughter, was over to the house, and so they was having a game. So I said, well, no matter what, I said, you got to do that homework. I said, if your homework don't get done, we don't go to no game. I said, now, it ain't hurt my feelings not to go to the game. I said, of course, I just keep right on going to the game. And I said, oh, I'll be glad when these great-grandbaby get grown in. Of course, I'd be too old to know what a game is by then. But enjoy. Yeah, but I have really enjoyed the football. And I had said, I had to go back to school with the confession stand. So I said, well, I should just love ODY. I said, because it seems like every grandchild and every child I have right up in ODY high school. So I just appreciate everybody's children. And I really am in love with you. So I'm kind of smart about it. I put them in there just like they put them in mine. We all have a good time together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Criss. Deborah, would you come forth at this time, please? Okay, we're going to ask Daddy Criss and Miss Criss, would y'all come stand right here, and our photographers are going to get our shots here. And with the Tarrant County Harambee Festival Committee, would y'all come stand behind us, please? Let's give them a hand, Tarrant County, right here on historic Evans Avenue, you know. And I pray that every year, as long as this man lives, that somebody will stop by. He deserves it. He deserves this and more. He might not did win a state championship, but you know what, as far as for Fort Worth ISD, I think y'all went to state, y'all lost in state. Is that what it was? Yes, yeah, but you went to state. But to me, he'll always be, yeah, because Kenyatta was in that. But Coach, you'll always be a winner because of the success. So Deborah, at this time, for the presentation to Daddy Criss.
All right, thank you, Cedric. I would ask that the Tarrant County Black Historical Society board members come up here with me. I know a lot of them are out there cleaning up, getting things ready. And see, our president is up here somewhere. Come on, Sarah. We're going to have to do this alone. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank Cedric for being a part of this committee. Cedric has been helping us for some years now. In the past few years, he's been helping me to advise on different people to honor. We're the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society, and what we do is we preserve the artifacts of the pioneers and the people, the Tarrant County of color that has gone on before us and made a difference. And what we decided to do is to start honoring those that the living legends. And it started out with the Outstanding Achievement Award. And then on last year we changed it to Lifetime Achievement Award. Because when you have people that have given their life, have given 50 years plus to our, especially to our young people. Because we know what? Our young people are our future. You know, what we instill in them and what we invest in them will determine how our, not only our community, but how our nation will be. So for people like Coach Criss, who has dedicated their life to young people, and we hear these young men up here talking about how he's touched them. Earlier this year, Cedric let me see a video where they were honoring Coach Criss, and some of the testimonies from some of the young men on how he had touched their lives. And truly, these are the kind of people that we want to honor. So I'd like to say, on behalf of the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society and the Tarrant County Harambee Committee, I'd like to present this Lifetime Achievement Award to you, Coach Criss. And it says, 8th Annual Tarrant County Harambee Festival presents Coach Willie Criss with the 2017 Outstanding Lifetime Achievement Award for his dedication to high school sports and the community. Because how many know you can't do it without doing it for investing in the community? And it's presented by the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society. So on behalf of our association, we'd like to present this to you. And his lovely wife is standing beside him, because how many know it took a sacrifice? The young men talked about their daddy and how they had to share their dad, but she had to share her husband also. So we'd like to present this award to you, and I'd like everybody to stand and honor Coach Willie Criss.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming, taking out of your busy Saturday afternoon, getting ready for the Dunbar homecoming. I haven't forgotten.
All right.
It's really a true blessing to have served these years, and especially my life. I've been married 54 years.
All right.
And I see my only granddaughter, Willie Criss, she's back there in her brother, Pat, could y'all please stand? Shut up, Willie, you hear me talking.